Let's see. Yeah, we get less. I kind of want to take the SRM shots anyway, though, because of the acid. Because this guy is so close to punching out. Like, if we can start to strip that armor, that's going to make him freak out even more. But I think if we can get hits, we're more likely to get crits. Punch out. Panic. Eject. You're all by yourself. Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Commander?
Alright, we got Brick with the Treb. Everybody loves a good Treb.
Confirmed.
So we'll roll down here. Wolverine? I wouldn't turn my nose up at a Wolverine if we could get our hands on that. Heavy cannon version, but it looks like they've already used up all their ammo. Alright, I see you. Well, I think we gotta take the shot at this guy. Oh, we can't. We don't have line of sight. Son of a... Alright, well, I guess we're shooting at the Wolverine then. Why does that one laser increase your heat so much? Weird. Well, whatever. Let's go with it.
Roger that.
Alright, good damage, good damage. We're already stripping the armor down.
Waiting for orders.
Sundance, we're gonna need you to get into combat just a little bit faster. This is the other reason that I wanted to stick the biggest engine I could manage into this Hunchback, because it is a little slow. I mean, we already knew that going in, but... Alright, let's see what else we're up against. Okay, so there's a quad. What is this? Let me see it. Let me see it. Scorpion quad mech. All rocket launchers. Okay, so this is where that giant missile barrage came from. That was rockets. So yeah, basically, this Scorpion, in spite of being a quad, is not really much of a threat at this point, because all they've got left is melee. That's the only thing they can bring to the table. Cataphract. Alright. Not terribly excited about a Cataphract, but we don't necessarily have to salvage every mech on the battlefield. Right now, if I had my choice, I'd either take the Wolverine or the Centurion out of what we've seen so far. Bigfoot, go ahead and brace up like we always do until we actually get into contact with the enemy. And then, of course, Stu with their artillery. I think now is the perfect time to use HE. Let's take a shot at wait, what? I didn't... You know what? Never mind. Let's see. Yeah. I think we take a shot at the Wolverine. We're gonna go with HE shells, and as always, I'll go ahead and use Battle Lord to increase the accuracy and the damage. Good hit, and splash damage on 4 additional targets. I mean, I wouldn't turn down a Cataphract if they gave me one, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to salvage one either. Like, it's not a bad mech, but it's not the kind of mech that, like, I'm salivating at the chance to get my hands on. Like a Hunchback, I would go out of my way to salvage. A Cataphract, not so much. Speaking of... Who? Yeah, I think we focus down the Wolverine, get him off the field. Actually, now that I think about it, hold on, because he's already used up his heavy cannon, so he's not really a threat. This Cataphract, though, on the other hand, is definitely a threat, because he's packing a PPC and an AC-10. So yeah, I think we focus the cataphract down first. If... There we go, I'm about to say, if we can target the damn thing.
Yeah, Commander.
And the galleon, of course, is taking hits, but we already knew that was going to happen. I don't know what this is. I'm kind of reluctant to leave our galleon out in the open, so I'm just going to
On my way. Double time.
keep them out of visual contact. And of course, our good friend Game Master. Get him down here. Got a little bit of an elevated position, which is exactly what you want to see. And yeah, let's take a 78% chance. Fire. Oh, come on, Game Master. Come on, buddy. Don't start this nonsense with me again. You were doing good there for a little while. And this is, what, another Centurion? That's a Treb. A Treb? Did these guys go to the same school that I did, where they charge Trebs like they're assault mechs? Because I'm just saying, I got my mech piloting degree from DeVry. I hope they didn't too. Yeah, chem pulse lasers, that's... And they had gyrojets, which that might have been another one of those missile volleys, but again, gyrojets are one-time use. So the only thing they've got right now on this thing is going to be the chem pulse. I think we do this. I will continue to hit these dudes. I guess we'll hit the Centurion, because he's still panicking. If we can get a good critical, we could still get this dude to punch out. Yeah, I mean, in terms of what we're seeing on the field, like, weapons-wise, I'm not really that impressed with what I'm seeing, but in terms of the mechs that these guys have brought to the field, there's a lot of salvage opportunities here.
Gotcha.
Let's go ahead and get the Hunchback down here, and I think, let's see... In terms of accuracy, we got our best shot at the Wolverine, so I say we take it.
10-4.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Engine crit on the first shot. 3 salvageable parts. Nice. That's not going to be a full salvage, but I think we can only pick 3 parts anyway. Oof. Battle armor took some damage on that one.
Not much armor left in that location. Reporting heavy damage. I'm under heavy fire.
Wait, did we actually lose the battle armor? No, we didn't.
Internal damage. Good to go.
Alright, so I think we probably... I mean, part of me wants to just charge in, but the smart part of me says, you have a little bit of an elevation advantage, continue to use it.
On the move.
So again, Centurion is already panicking a little bit. I say we just continue to feed into that.
Firing all weapons.
We hit him with the acid, so that's going to reduce his armor effectiveness. Increases our chances of a critical, which increases our chances of potentially getting this guy to punch out. Again, we'll continue to maintain the high ground. Still think in terms of everything that we've got going for us right now. Normally I'd focus on another target with the Treb because of its high amount of alpha damage. But I think we continue to focus the Centurion, see if we can get him off the field for good.
Target confirmed.
So we got structure exposed, destroyed some weapon systems. Man, this dude, he's just not giving up. I mean, this Centurion pilot on their side is just... He has got that resolve. Passing all his morale checks. What do we get? What was that? I missed it. I know it's not a firefly. A Merlin. Okay. Wow. Oh, shit. Not only is it a Merlin, it's a Merlin with a bunch of binary lasers. Again, very weird composition, but binary lasers can hit pretty damn hard. Yeah, again, like I said, I mean, maybe we need to hire this Centurion pilot, because he's clearly got some high endurance in terms of what he's willing to put up with. And I keep forgetting that, I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh no! Crap, I held shift. I was gonna reserve the battle armor, but I just reserved our entire freaking team. Whoops. Okay, somebody's got artillery.
Whoa! Easy on the armor, buddy.
Wow, yeah, again, Treb pilot. Got the giant brass walls on this Treb pilot. So yeah, I have made a tactical error that may or may not be an issue for us. I have accidentally reserved our entire team when I did not mean to do that. I only meant to reserve the battle armor. So I hope this does not end badly for us. Can I have a turn, please? I mean, I know I made a mistake, but it would be nice if you guys let me do something. Okay, so another hunchback. Man, I don't know what it is about this particular mission, but they got a lot of mechs that I'm like, yeah, I'd take that. Alright, so this is another one where he has used up most of his hard-hitting weapons. Okay, so first things first, I want to grab the commander. And unfortunately, we have some stability damage, but what I'm going to do... Actually, I want to get the battle armor into melee, but I don't think we're close enough to melee the Treb. So what I'm going to do instead is we're going to grab the commander here. Can I do anything but charge? Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to run down here. We're going to kick this dude right in the dick.
I copy.
Which will stop him from advancing. And then I'm going to unload the battle armor on him and let the battle armor tie him up.
Yes,
And then we'll have the Centurion move on to other targets. I want to mount and swarm this dude. Now give me the... There we go. We got 93% chance of success. Let's do it. And we did get the successful swarm. So yeah, that will tie up the Treb for a turn or two at least.
I'm here.
And I think we continue to maintain the high ground with the hunchback. Continue to try to make those AC-20 shots count. Again, I'm trying not to destroy this Centurion, but we also want to get him off the field, because that sniper cannon's starting to hurt. So let's take the shot.
10-4.
Torso destroyed. Are you gonna eject now?
Make it happen.
No. To my surprise, this man just refuses to... Like, he has been panicking for like 3 turns. And he's just like, nope. Is the ejection seat broken in his mech or something? Is that why he refuses to punch out?
Roger that.
Well, I'm not gonna full alpha him with the Treb. Because that's a waste of ammo. I'm thinking we either hit the Merlin, because the Merlin's pretty lightly armored, or we continue to pound that Cataphract. Honestly, I think the Cataphract is the bigger threat. So we will, yeah, we'll continue with that strategy. Continue to hit the Cataphract. Can we put in the next laser? No, we cannot. That's okay.
Roger that.
No punch through. That's disappointing. Yeah, he's clearly decided that he is going down with the ship, which commendable. Absolutely commendable. But that's what stuff like the Panther is for, because while it doesn't have a whole lot of damage output, it's extremely accurate damage output. So when I need to put just a little bit of hurt on somebody like that, that's what the Panther is perfect for.
Enemy down.
So that's not really going to be salvageable, because we not only took out the engine, but also had an ammo explosion. Sadly, old boy should have punched out when he had the chance. So I think next, how much evasion do you have? Okay, so Stu has basically got 100% chance to hit on everything. So I think we go for the quad mech, and again, try to maximize our splash damage.
Affirmative.
So of course we got the hit, and we got splash damage on 2 additional targets. Outstanding. Outstanding.
Skipper.
Whiplash in his APC. Yeah, we'll just continue the trend. Give him the old cornhole. Oh, not gonna be able to do it from there. Can we do it from here? We can.
Copy that, Commander.
Give him the old cornhole. And we got him tag marked. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's... Yeah, you're right. At that point, he kind of had to fully commit, because there was no way he was going to live it down if he ejected after that. So, that's a fair point. So again, 99% accuracy with Game Master. We know we're going to get the hit.
Locking in all weapon systems.
And structure exposed. Not sure which part. Torso, maybe? Yeah, the left torso. Okay.
Good to go.
And then we get the Galleon, which has already taken quite a bit of damage, but at the same time,
Heading out.
ye olde cornhole is where it's at.
At the angle. Taking a shot.
So we'll continue to take shots at the Cataphract. Again, between him and the Merlin, those are the 2 biggest threats currently on the field. So I think the smart money is take the Cataphract off the field, and we're in good shape.
I'm here.
Trib, I think, again, as long as the battle armor continues to succeed in its melee attack, then we don't really have to worry about the Trib. And thankfully, because I did put that PPC on the 1 battle armor, we're getting the impaired sensor roll on the target every single turn, which is actually really good.
Affirmative.
So we'll continue to snipe with the Panther. There goes that torso that was already exposed.
Yes, you are.
Unfortunately, that took out the lasers and not the PPC or the autocannon, so Cataphract is still a threat. As usual, Stu, I think we're gonna... I don't know, we got friendlies in the vicinity now, so I'm kind of reluctant to use the HE, but I think the APC can take at least 1 good hit from HE, and if not, then I apologize in advance.
Got it.
So there's that hit, plus the splash damage. We'll just continue to pile it on.
I'm ready for orders.
And here's the Galleon. I think we'll continue to harass. We'll just stand behind these guys and continue to draw their attention. Because they're either going to have to turn around and do something about it, or they're going to have to continue to ignore it, and if they do, then at that point, we continue to hit them in the back until we get a lucky shot.
Waiting for orders.
So we'll stand and deliver. Again, I think we take the shot at the Cataphract. basically guaranteed to get the hits at this point. And there's the knockdown, because that's what happens when you stand there and try to face tank 2 AC-20 shots. That probably wasn't the smartest move that guy's ever made. Oh! Oh no! The Treb managed to throw off our battle armor. Damn you. Well, see, now we have to retaliate, don't we? I mean, I can't let you smack around our battle armor and not do anything about it. Beautiful. Take the leg. Sweep the leg! And whoever it was that asked me several streams ago, why don't I put ammo in the leg? That's why, right there. Because the reason that Treb went down is not only did we take out a leg, that's where the ammo was, and the ammo criticaled and then blew up the rest of the mag. Yeah, they haven't really made any smart decisions, Sierra, which is good. I mean, that's definitely to our benefit this go around. If they had used these mechs a little more intelligently, they definitely could have been dangerous. But generally speaking, they have essentially made the worst decisions possible so far. Ow. Yeah, we can't hit, but that's okay. I'll focus on the Merlin instead. Give him the full alpha. Normally I would have gone for the Cataphract, but I think by putting the acid damage on the Merlin now, we can go ahead and start to increase our damage output there, whereas the Cataphract is still on the ground, so we still get the ability to put a lot of hurt on him, which is actually what we're about to do. So, as always, I'm going to go for the leg, even though we're probably not going to hit the leg. Yeah, there we go. Engine crit. So that's a Cataphract off the field. And that leaves us only one salvageable part. Unfortunate. But again, I wasn't going to lose any sleep about not salvaging a Cataphract. In the meantime, we still got the Scorpion, which it really feels like this Scorpion isn't like... I don't know if quads just can't melee, or if the AI is just kind of not sure what to do about this, because they're not doing anything, they're just running away.
Damage minimal. Let's get this done, folks.
I mean, in fairness, Sierra, I would try to melee in anything if the situation called for it. In fact, I have tried to melee in almost everything under the right circumstances. So yeah, I think at this point, the battle armor being in the position it's in, I'm just gonna try and run them out of here so they don't get completely destroyed. In the meantime, we got Stu. I'm gonna use the shape charge this time around. Uh-oh. Game's hanging up here. So we got 99% on the Merlin. We got 99% on the Hunchback. We've only got 70% on the Scorpion, so I think we take the shot at the Merlin.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Because right now, I think the only thing the only thing the Hunchback has besides close-range weapons is some large chem lasers, which technically they don't have a minimum range, but they're not as effective up close.
On the move.
So yeah, we just continue the story of letting our light vehicles harass this Hunchback by shooting him in the back for as long as... Well, that works too. I was gonna say, as long as he lets us, but then we got an engine crit and it didn't matter. Good going, Carrick and the Galleon. Again, I don't count on those shots, but I love it when they happen.
Lock in target.
And we'll take the sniping shot at the Merlin. As always, we got Ozark up here on the high ground, just spanking the enemy. And again, stand and deliver, give him the AC-20. Punch through the armor, one more hit like that. Yeah, none of this matters. One more good hit on that Merlin and he's going down. And I guess we'll now continue the same story of shoot him in the back until we either get an engine crit or they turn around to deal with it.
Orders.
Of course, we're gonna have to go for melee because who the hell do you think I am?
Aye, aye.
And that should give us the knockdown. E-cooling crit? Okay. Yep, there goes the knockdown. Take a dirt nap, loser. He's got a lot of health, though. So we're gonna have some trouble incapacitating him. We might just have to do things the hard way and blow him up completely. Alright, heat is slowly building to the point where we might have some issues on the treb.
Yes, Commander.
Hunchback, you know what to do.
Order received.
Get in there, give him the business. As a matter of fact, we're gonna give you precise strike just to increase the chances that you actually hit. Cold shut, sweep the leg.
Taking the shot.
You did not hit the leg.
Reporting.
Oh, maybe you did. I don't know. Structure got exposed on something. Hopefully it was the leg. And I'm genuinely surprised that the Merlin is getting up that quickly. I was expecting him to be on the ground a little bit longer than that. Did you DFA? You did, you little bastard!
Took a hard hit there. Okay, now.
I mean, DFA is supposed to be last resort, and Homeboy is about to be having a real bad day, so I guess I can't blame him.
Move order received. Waiting for orders.
Let's see. Stu, as usual, we're gonna give him the shape charge. And you completely missed the mark on that one, but that's okay. Can't have perfect accuracy all the time.
Copy.
Unless you're Ozark. And there goes the leg, so you're taking another dirt nap, loser. Only the next time you try to DFA, you ain't gonna be able to, because you've only got one leg. And there's the punch out. Alright, good deal. You love to see it. So yeah, that just leaves us with our little spider boy here. And his empty weapons. So we will see how much longer it takes for us to put this man's out of his misery. He is a little far away for the AC-20 to be effective, so we will get a little closer. Because it's an AC-20, I'm reluctant to just take shots with our people behind, because if Game Master does whiff that shot, we could potentially kill our own people on accident. Yeah, exactly. You want to bully our Scorpion? By God. I'm going to return the favor. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna move, so that way, if this guy is still alive by next turn and we decide to take a shot with Game Master, I want our people to be out of the way so they don't accidentally become collateral damage. However, I don't think this guy is gonna survive that long, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm gonna continue to melee because why wouldn't I?
It's go time.
There goes a leg.
Think I hit something good.
And that's an engine crit.
Reporting critical.
Now with the stability damage, is that... Yep, there's the knockdown too. Very nice. And apparently that was enough to destroy the engine. Good deal. Outstanding.
Mission successful.
Couldn't have asked for a better outcome on that one. To be fair, it did look like he kind of hit the ground hard on that one. So yeah, another excellent mission under our belt. Possibly gonna get some decent salvage out of the deal. Yeah, he basically hit the ground and it was just boop! Broke up into pieces. But yeah, hopefully we get some decent salvage out of the deal. We had quite a few mechs that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. So yeah, our original payout for this was about 60k or so. With the additional objectives, we managed to make 125k in total in terms of funds. Again, Scorpion kind of got the business. And to surprise absolutely no one, Quagmire is now going to be out for friggin' 4 months. Because, as we have already discussed, the Scorpion tank is cursed. Let's see what we got. I would like to take the Wolverine. We do have 3 parts that we could potentially grab from that. There's a part of me that wants to take the ammo for the AC-5 since we were already having an issue with not having AC-5 ammo. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the Merlin. I mean, it is a 60-ton mech. Like, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like, Merlin is not a bad mech. My only concern is... Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Seer, and the reason is... I think we run into more Wolverines or Shadowhawks than we do Merlins. Like, a Merlin is not a bad mech, I just don't see us necessarily running into another one anytime soon. Never say never. But I think we're much more likely to run into a Wolverine or a Cataphract or a Trebuchet or a Shadowhawk down the line. Or hell, even another Centurion for that matter. Like, just in terms of what we can salvage today and what we could potentially salvage in the future. Let's see, so we got 1, 2, 3. So, to me, it's down to either the Merlin or the Wolverine. Because we've got 3 parts for both. We've got 3 picks. We don't have... I don't think we have any Wolverine parts anyway. I'm pretty sure we don't. No. We do not. So yeah, we can get 3 parts of either. Well, the Wolverine, we've only got 3 parts on salvage here. There's not actually 4 parts for us to salvage, unfortunately. But again, because I think we're more likely to run into the Wolverine in the future, I think it's probably the better get. Because we can take 3 parts of the Wolverine, and then if we just randomly come up against another one sometime in the future, and we probably will, then that should give us the full Monty. So yeah, I think we do that, and then maybe we get lucky on the rest of the picks. Who knows? Let's see. So they gave us the Cataphract part, they gave us the Centurion part, they gave us the Hunchback. None of the Merlin parts, though, strangely enough. So we had another binary laser. I don't want this medium laser, because it's a minus. I don't want the Chem Pulse laser, because I don't use chemical lasers. I'm kind of tempted to ditch the medium cannons because we don't have the ammo feed for them. But we did get a rocket ammo feed, which means if we stick some rocket launchers on a mech, then we could potentially reload them, as long as we've got some MRM ammo. I just don't remember if we do. But that's not a bad get, that rocket ammo feed. We could make some moves with that, potentially. Well, and I forget who it was that had suggested it a couple of streams back, but somebody had pointed out, like, yeah, if you get the ammo feeds, those rocket launchers can be devastating, because, like, the whole point of the rocket launcher is it has super high alpha damage, like higher than most missile launchers. The downside being that you can only fire at once. So by having the ammo feed, you immediately remove the only drawback that rocket launchers have. And so it's very hard not to look at that and say, well, why wouldn't I want to do that? So once again, a story as old as time. Most of our mechs did not take that much damage. However, the battle armor got trashed, because the battle armor gets trashed every single mission. The question is, did we lose the PPC? We did, in fact, lose the PPC. And as I said previously, we are very quickly running out of weapons to put on these freaking battle armor. What is your problem? Claws damaged. Yeah, that's fine. That'll get fixed on its own. Confirm?
Logged and noted. Shouldn't be too
Alright. So, the next thing is, let's have a look at what we've got in the hold. Because we've got 3 Thunderbolt parts. Now we've also got 3 Wolverine parts, so all we gotta do is find one or the other of those, and we've got another decent medium or heavy mech on the field. Honestly, I don't think I'm ever gonna use the Scorpion, so I think we sell these parts. This is the Griffin part that we had. Yeah, I could see that. I also, because, like, in my mind's eye, whenever I think of rocket launchers, I don't think of, like, the traditional box launchers that most mechs have, where that, like, the missile launchers are usually just a box with some holes in it. I always think of rocket launchers as essentially just, like, a piece of PVC pipe taped to the outside of the mech. And so when I think of, like, a rocket launcher 20... I just think of, like, a giant bundle of pipes taped to the side of a catapult and call it a day. So we're 1 part shy on building another Hollander. We're 1 part shy on a fire starter. I don't want any commando parts, so we'll get rid of those. Yeah, right, just a bunch of Roman candles. Like, screw it. This particular version of the Irby, I'm gonna get rid of. This is not the artillery Irby. So I'm gonna ditch that. Part of me wants to go ahead and sell the Whitworths as well, but at the same time, they've done a good job in the past, so I want to keep them around until we have other mechs that we could potentially replace them with down the line. Well, if you're gonna make the Mad Cat out of cardboard, be very careful. Because with Roman candles especially, that might be a little bit of a hazard. Alright, so we don't have too many people that are hurt, thankfully. Well, that weren't already hurt when we went in.
What's up, boss?
So, Carrick, you are typically our galleon pilot, I believe? Right? Yeah, we've got you in the galleon, so I'm going to give you more tactics, because you need to be able to identify mechs.
I await your command.
Game Master has finally reached the point where we can give him the next level of gunnery, which we're immediately going to do. Same story with the commander, so we'll immediately give them the next level gunnery.
Commander.
Ozark, you're almost there, so we'll save up a little bit. Quagmire did survive. I don't feel like they need a ton of gunnery. They're already doing pretty well with that AC, but we'll go ahead and give them more gunnery anyway.
Awaiting
Sparrow, honestly, I don't think this dude's ever going to get back on the battlefield. The dude has spent his entire career in medbay. Same story with Stu. Actually, you know what? Stu, we're going to give you tactics, because tactics is better for indirect fire.
Mech warrior training complete.
Commander.
Then we got Sundance, again, waiting on the next level of gunnery for you. And Whiplash finally got up to the next level of tactics. Yeah, I mean, as long as you can call yourself a professional, that's what really matters. So let's see. We got Master Tactician. Mechs piloted by this warrior gain 2 initiative and remove 1 bar of stability damage when reserving. Well, that's fine, but he's driving an APC. Knife Fighter gained 32% boost to all support weapons, short and medium range brackets, as well as 10% damage with support weapons. I guess that would be useful if he were actually doing a lot of damage. Same with Bombardier. 33% boost to all bomb bay weapons, range brackets, as well as 10% damage, which he's not using a flyer. Although, to be fair, we could put him in a flyer. And then Sensor Sweep, perform a sensor lock on all enemies within a 350 meter radius. Sold. Absolutely. Say no more.
Training complete.
And there we go, that's all the training complete for our people. I've already looked in the mech bay, so everything's all repaired up. At that point, we've got 1 day until the battle armor is fixed.
That work order you submitted is complete.
And then we've just got to wait for our people to be at a med bay. We're sitting at a little over 4 million C-bills. So, I think that is where I'm going to call it. Again, been live for a little over 4 hours, so I think we made some good progress. Definitely had some interesting missions for sure. That's definitely something we can say about today. So let me get us over to ye olde overlay. All right. Oh, man. I know I always say this at the end of the stream, but my butt hurts when I sit here for so long. No, not right now, Stu. I'm trying to hold off on the engineering upgrades because we have burned through most of the easy and cheap upgrades, and a lot of the ones that are left are like 1 million C-bills or more, or require other upgrades. So I'm trying to hold off on the engineering upgrades for the time being, just so we can save some money until... Well, once we get a little bit more stable in our lance and get some heavier mechs where we can start taking on more expensive contracts, then I'll look at potentially picking up on the engineering again. But for right now, we're in a good spot where we're making decent money, and I don't want to necessarily compromise our finances by then, you know, going hog wild and spending a bunch of money on upgrades that we don't even necessarily need right now. Yes, it is, in fact. That is both the Edelweiss and the Hafen. So that is the tank from the first Valkyria Chronicles and the tank from Valkyria Chronicles 4. Because I am a huge Valkyria Chronicles fangirl. I was preaching the virtues of that series way back when it first launched on the PlayStation 3. And I have loved the series ever since. I could go on and on about it, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. Suffice it to say, yes, it is Valkyria Chronicles, and I love that series. It's one of my favorite series on console. If you don't know, I don't know how many of you are like the OG gamers from like the Dreamcast days, but if you don't know, the team that made Valkyria Chronicles also were the team that created Skies of Arcadia back in the day on the Dreamcast. And originally the Valkyria Chronicles, the original, was meant to be a sequel to Skies of Arcadia, and then because the Dreamcast didn't do very well, they just kind of turned it into its own thing. But that's why they have, like, cameo appearances in the first game from some of these Skies of Arcadia characters. So that's your useless Valkyria Chronicles trivia for the day. I was doing something. What was I doing? Oh, right. That's what I was doing. Okay, so, and normally this would be the part where I would go to the outro. I mean, I do still have a Dreamcast. I have it in a moisture-proof lockbox in my closet because I have a lot of old consoles in my closet. But I still have a Dreamcast, and every once in a while, the desire hits me to play Skies of Arcadia again, and then I'll pull it all out, hook it all up to my old TV, and play Skies of Arcadia just for old time's sake. So it was an interesting console. It was definitely ahead of its time. I wish it had succeeded, but I also understand why it failed. But anyway, what I wanted to get to before I do the outro and close out the stream is I had mentioned before, when some of the other folks were still here, that I did have a little bit of bad news. And again, it's not end of the world news. It's not, I'm not going anywhere. But it is something that will affect kind of my future plans for October. So I apologize in advance because I want to explain this so that everybody understands. But it's also a little bit of a touchy subject for me, so I apologize in advance if I get a little bit emotional. But I know I have been saying pretty much all month that I was going to play Signalis this October. And obviously, I have been working on an outfit for it, which the outfit is complete, so that's not a problem. But I am not actually going to play Signalis on stream. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first one is, and I'll go over this for anybody that's interested. So first of all, I want to apologize if anybody is disappointed by that, if you were looking forward to it. But the first reason that I don't want to play Signalis on stream is because the way that the game is, I feel like if I were to play it on stream for you instead of letting you experience it yourself, I would be doing a disservice to the game and to you, because your desire to play and complete the game is such an important part of the story that by someone else playing, it removes that element, and I think it lessens the impact of the story. If that's difficult to understand, the best analogy that I can come up with is if you've played Nier Automata, and I'm not going to spoil that game or its story, but if you know, then you know. And it's very similar to that in that you playing the game is such an integral part of the story that if you aren't the one playing, the story doesn't have the same impact. And I don't want to, if you like the game or you like the idea of the game, I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to rob you guys of that experience, because I think that's what makes the game so powerful in terms of its storytelling. And you're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, well, what are you talking about a game being powerful? It's a survival horror game. And yes, that's true, but the story is not really a survival horror story. And again, I can't go into a lot of specifics because I risk spoiling it for the people that do want to play it. The game is only about $20. I highly recommend that you pick it up. It is one of my favorite games, hands down. But it's also one of those things where, like, I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to take away your ability to have that experience. So that's the first reason that I'm not going to play the game on stream. The second reason that I'm not going to play the game on stream is because, for me at least, The story is extremely resonant with me personally. And I played the game back in October last year when it came out, and I really enjoyed it, got all the endings, had a good time with it. But it also had me feeling a certain kind of way. And again, I'm not going to say that you will necessarily have an emotional experience with the game like I did. Obviously, that's not going to be for everybody. But it was emotional enough for me that I have not picked up the game again since last year. And that's not for my lack of loving the game. I absolutely love Signalis, but I had to step away from it. I couldn't play it again. And so for me, sorry, like I said, I gotta take a minute. So earlier this week, I started playing through the game again, mostly just to refresh myself on the systems and how the game plays, get the muscle memory back so that I could, not seem completely incompetent when I play it. And in the process, I got to some of the endings again. And it was at that point that I realized I would not be able to play the game on stream. And even now, I'm having difficulty talking about it. But I wanted you guys to know, I wanted to be as upfront as possible. That's the other reason, is that I don't think I can put myself through that again, especially not after having just played through the game. And again, that's not to say anything bad about the game. It just, it means that much to me. And it has that much impact on me. So it's, again, to use an analogy, it's like if you've ever watched a drama or a movie that really, gets to you and makes you very emotional, and it's something that you really enjoy, and you would love to recommend it to other people, but it's also a movie or a show that you could never go back and watch again. It doesn't diminish its value, but it's difficult, if that makes sense. So, again, moving on from that topic, I do apologize immensely for anybody that was looking forward to that. And I did not expect, I had hoped that taking a year away from the game and coming back to it, that the impact would be lessened and that it wouldn't bother me as much when I played it again, but that was not the case. And I was not expecting that, so I apologize if I got your hopes up, because I know I've been talking about it all month, and to now come out of nowhere and say, hey, by the way, sorry, but that's not going to happen. The best that I can say is I do still intend to use the outfit that I created for the gameplay. And I will probably use that outfit throughout the rest of October. Just consider it a Halloween costume, if that helps. Because I do still love the game, and I would still absolutely recommend that any of you play it. But it's not something that I think that I can play on stream without getting to a point where it's not going to be fun for me, and it's probably not going to be fun for you guys either. So, again, apologies for that. Again, that's the bad news. I didn't want to, make it sound like, again, I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't really affect streaming. It's just affecting what I had planned for October. I do still plan to try to find some kind of, spooky themed games to do for October, but of course, just from my experience, it seems like you guys are having plenty of fun playing BTA, and obviously that's what most of you are here for. That's why most of you are here in the first place. So, as long as you're happy watching me play BattleTech, I am happy to play it for you and hang out with you guys here in the stream. So, If you want to do more Halloween themed content, I've been looking into that, so it's just up to you guys and what you want to do. But yeah, so that was the news that I wanted to share with everybody. Again, I apologize to anybody that was looking forward to it. I do feel bad about that because I've been trying to hype it up. I've been trying to, get everybody excited for it, and then, to just yank the rug out from under you at the last minute. I feel terrible about that. So, but at any rate, I will also do a longer tweet on the Twitter machine about that as well for anybody that was not here on the stream and anybody that missed me talking about it here. So that way, everybody that wasn't here for it will know what's going on and won't be confused if we don't pick up the game at some point over the course of the month. So, but yeah, that's all I had. With that, I think now, at this point, I'll go ahead and get to the outro now that I've managed to get myself a little bit more under control. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys understanding. It's something that I wasn't sure exactly how to approach it. I wasn't exactly sure how I should talk to you guys about it. But I figured, honesty is the best policy. Might as well just come out and say it, get it out there, and then, if anything comes of it, then we can deal with it. But I appreciate it if everybody understands and just know that, like, this is definitely something that I wanted to share with you guys. It's just not something that I think I can share with you in the way that I originally intended. So my recommendation is it's absolutely worth a playthrough, especially if you like survival horror games. It's an outstanding game. And even if you don't know what you're doing, you could probably beat it in 5 to 10 hours. So it's not a very long experience, but for me, it was a very powerful experience and well worth the time and money. But again, this is not a sponsored stream. Rose Engine is not paying me to say any of this about their game. It's just, again, that's how much the game means to me. But at any rate, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the stream now. So let's get to that so we can get to something a little bit more positive, right? And I apologize for that. Like I said, I didn't know how emotional I was going to get, so I apologize if that was uncomfortable for anybody, because I know not everybody is comfortable in situations like that. But all the bad news out of the way, back to more positive things. Again, good stream today. I enjoyed the experience of actually putting some successful missions under our belt, and again, working our way through. So, I'm glad that we could get this done, and I'm glad that we had successful missions all around. As always, I want to thank you guys for coming. I want to thank you for hanging out, not just for the BattleTech, but for everything else. Again, as I've said before, that the world is a rough place to live, and we've all got a very limited amount of time on this planet, so you don't have to spend your time here, and I absolutely appreciate that you do. Beyond that, you can find all of my random ramblings on the Twitter machine. You can also find updates to the stream, when I'm next going to go live, what we're going to be streaming. And again, feel free to contact me there, or here on Twitch, or even on YouTube through the direct messaging. If you have ideas, if you have feedback, it's always welcome. Aside from that, as always on the YouTubes, you can find the VODs for this as they go up. It is on a release schedule, so eventually this will make it, but it'll probably be a little while. Again, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being understanding. Again, I apologize for the bad news, but hopefully it's not too bad. I have thought about a Discord server, but honestly, I don't want to go through all the moderation and all of that. Maybe at some point, if our community gets large enough and I can get some people to help me with it, I'll consider it. But for right now, I think where we're at is a good place. Aside from that, as always, to close out the stream, like I always do, I want to remind you guys that your life has value. and that the world is a better place with you in it. Never let anybody tell you otherwise. And we'll see you next time.